There was a crop that once fed entire civilizations, higher yield than potatoes, more nutritious than corn, and it replants itself every single year without you lifting a finger. But you've probably never heard of it. Not because it doesn't work, because it works too well. Empires tried to erase it. Agricultural corporations called it a weed, and for nearly a century, it almost disappeared completely. Until scientists started asking, why would a crop that saved millions from starvation be removed from history? The answer changes everything we know about modern agriculture. This is the story of the sunchoke, the crop they don't want you to grow. The archive opens in 1605. Coast of Maine, July. Samuel de Champlain steps ashore and meets the Algonquin. They welcome him with a feast. Among the dishes is a root they call kaishuk panak. Champlain writes in his journal, tastes like artichoke. But it wasn't an artichoke, and it didn't come from Jerusalem, though that's the name Europeans would give it later. It was a mistake, a mistranslation, and a plant. That's been misunderstood for 400 years. Thousands of years before Champlain arrived, the Iroquois were growing it. They called it Earth Woman's fingers. The woman who buried her fingers in the soil so her children would never starve. That's mythology, but the reality is even more powerful. The plant grows 8 to 10 feet tall, brilliant yellow flowers in the fall, and underground, knobbly tubers, white, purple, gold, storing energy for winter. Indigenous peoples knew what science would prove centuries later. Cold converts its starch into sugar, sweeter after the frost. And unlike potatoes, you don't need to replant it. Plant once, harvest forever. The Algonquin understood what Europeans would take centuries to learn and then forget. Here's how. USDA zones 3 through 9. If you can grow potatoes, you can grow this. Plant 4 to 6 inches deep, deeper than potatoes. Space them 12 to 18 inches apart. Plant in spring, after the last frost. Or fall, 4 weeks before the first frost. Harvest after frost kills the tops. That's when the cold converts the starch to sugar. Cure them for 2 weeks in a cool, dark place, or eat them fresh. And here's the kicker. Leave fragments in the soil, and they'll come back next year. Plant once, harvest forever. That's a threat. One sunchoke plant produces 3 to 6 pounds of tubers per year. 1 acre can yield 64,000 pounds. No irrigation required. Potatoes, 53,000 pounds per acre, with irrigation. This is survival, not luxury. This is foundation. You want this kind of yield in your garden? In 1805, Lewis and Clark were starving near the Missouri River. Sacagawea dug sunchokes from the frozen mud. That meal saved the expedition. It wasn't luck. It was knowledge, passed down for thousands of years, tested by famine. Sacagawea knew what would take scientists another 180 years to prove. Studies centuries later would confirm it. Sunchoke spread across Europe like wildfire. The French called it topinambur, Italians girasol, Germans erdapfel, each name reflecting how it transformed their gardens. 17th century records show it yielding 30,000 calories per acre. Potatoes, 20,000. For a brief moment, it rivaled corn, the world's most important grain. It fed royal courts from Versailles to Vienna. Farmers grew it as insurance against famine. 18th century documents wrote about it. Like a miracle crop, but cracks appeared. The potato, grown by empire, won, not because of quality, but because of control. Potatoes are annual. You buy seeds every year. You harvest all at once. You sell, ship, store, on schedule. Empires could control it. Sunchoke is perennial, self-replicating. No seed purchase. Harvest when you need it. No schedule. Empires couldn't control it. So they renamed it. Called it pig food. Underground, invisible, perennial. Can't confiscate what they can't see. Dutch hunger winter, 1944 to 45. Over 20,000 dead from starvation. Survivors dug sunchokes from frozen canals. Emergency cookbooks from 1944 instructed how to boil them to reduce gas. That wasn't a recipe. That was survival knowledge. Your grandmother might have known this. Her grandmother definitely did. The crop they called a weed in peacetime. It saved the world in wartime. The survivors knew. Science would prove why. Magnesium for muscles, phosphorus for bones, copper for blood cells. 80% of your immune system lives in your gut. Prebiotics feed those good bacteria. This is why those Dutch mothers dug it from the snow. But there's one problem everyone mentions. Studies from the 1980s through 2010s analyzed sunchoke. 76% of its carbohydrate is inulin, a prebiotic fiber your body can't digest. GI score 50. Potatoes 85. Potassium, twice a banana. Iron, 20% of your daily need in 1 cup. No fat, no cholesterol. Inulin ferments in your gut. That means gas. Lots of gas. They even call them fart chokes. But your grandmother knew how to fix that. Method 1, roasting. 45 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat breaks down the inulin chains. Those 1944 emergency cookbooks knew this. Now you do. Method 2, fermentation. Pickle them like cucumbers for 3 to 5 days. Bacteria predigest the inulin. Method 3, gradual introduction. Start with 1 or 2 tubers. Build tolerance, your gut adapts. Method 4, baking soda trick. Add it to the boiling water. Old method, but it works. Your grandmother knew this. Now you do. The crop they erased. The crop that saved millions. The crop that science validates. And now, it's coming back. You'll find it at farmers markets, in permaculture gardens, in homesteaders' plots. Food sovereignty advocates grow it. Survivalists share tubers. Gardeners pass it over fences. You won't find it in every grocery store. Not yet. That means you're early. But industry still resists because a perennial breaks the system of control. Industrial agriculture depends on selling seeds every year. Sunchoke self-replicates. No repeat revenue. They need predictable harvest timing for machinery. Sunchoke harvests when it's ready, not when the schedule says. They need uniform sizes for packaging. Sunchoke grows in every shape. It's not conspiracy. It's economics. But that's exactly why it matters. A pattern repeating throughout history. Now you can see it. This isn't just about a plant. This is about two ways of thinking, two systems, two ways of living. Perennial means freedom. Plant once, harvest forever. Autonomous, no dependency. Annual means dependency. Buy seeds, follow schedules, serve the system. Indigenous peoples understood this. They thought in generations, not quarters. They grew for freedom, not profit. Every time you choose a perennial, you're choosing autonomy. Every time you plant sunchoke, you're planting freedom. That's the question. Which system will you choose? The archive has opened. You've seen what was lost. Now you know why. Knowledge that civilizations once depended on. Knowledge that systems tried to erase. Knowledge that survivors protected. Now, it's yours. The choice is yours. The knowledge is free. Autonomy can be grown in a small plot or a container. If you choose freedom, here's where to begin. Whole Foods, produce section. Jerusalem artichokes, $5.99 per pound. Buy 1 pound. Plant them. Harvest 6 pounds first year. That's economics. Farmers markets, ask the vendors. Online nurseries, territorial-seed.com, fedcoseeds.com. Your neighbors, if they grow them, they have too many. The knowledge is free. Access is easy. The choice starts this Sunday. If knowledge like this shouldn't be lost again, you know what to do. Thank you for preserving the archive.